So the way I see it, the bank's strategy focuses around customer. And what we have done in the form of knowledge series is to empower and enable our customers. So the world we all live in is full of uncertainties and change. And by sharing ideas, each other experiences, we learn and we try to empower knowledge, and that's how we add value and contribute to each other's success.
So the first thing anyway is about getting access to information, and that's why we do the knowledge series. Thereafter, it's really about how does that fit with your business and does it make sense for the business you're running and operating. Thereafter, it's really about how do you make it efficient and operationalise it. We think it's really important that whilst the implementation of corporate tax is very important, we can't take away from the fact that what we're really here to focus on and what we should always be focusing on is the underlying business. Without good underlying business, it doesn't really matter about the tax regime. When we then take a breath and think about, well, how do we go about and how is the most efficient way of actually going about operationalising it? Our view very firmly is, bearing in mind we haven't done this before, it really is about getting good tax advice up front so that you know that you've aligned it with your business. And on the further end of it, it's about getting the oversight to make sure that your tax returns and the payments you're making are appropriate. In the middle, that's where we think you can make a lot of efficiencies because internal teams will have and do have the capability to collect the information, store the information and complete the returns in the first place.
Given the current landscape as to where we are today, the biggest risks that businesses will be facing is the uncertainty within the UAE corporate tax law. So at the moment we have a lot of cabinet decisions that we're waiting to be released and they will clarify a lot of relevant provisions for taxpayers. So if we take, for example, the definition of qualifying income that will be relevant to every free zone entity, we are awaiting that cabinet decision, and once that's released, that will allow for some certainty to be given as to income streams that are taxable and how best to report those within the corporate tax return. So for the moment, the best way for businesses to manage this is through taking proper advice, understanding how the law is currently drafted, what that looks like and where there may be ambiguity, and working out what can we do now based on the information we have, what do we need to wait for further information to then take a decision in future, and most importantly, update and keep stakeholders relevant of the latest position so that businesses aren't surprised by be that perceived delays and or uncertainty as to whether a position is being considered or not.
Is that this is going to be a very, very important initiative. It is going to move very fast going forward. In the next 12-18 months, we'll see a lot of new laws coming out around this, and also the whole initiative picking up a lot of speed as we move forward. So it would be best to stay in touch, watch the space, and to try and spend top dollars on getting the best advice that is out there. Because one thing that we all want to make sure is that we deal with this in the most transparent way, in the most fair manner, so that we stay on the right side of the law as far as this all important issue is concerned.
It may really, require a deep look on how they currently operate and look at their, relationships and, business relationships, either with related party and non-related parties. And of course, considering the key provisions in the law and how this is going to impact how the business is operating and how they are being structured. So a holistic view needs to be really undertaken by each company and each group of companies based on the size, because definitely the different size of the organization will be subject to different kind of look and actually the way that they will operate. The other thing is now, with the corporate tax coming in and with previous VAT and definitely other tax requirements and the compliance work, they will need to look at the tax governance and whether they have a tax governance in place, how they manage the tax function, what will be the key risks, that actually they will need to manage. So definitely this is very, very important to be also considered, not just understanding the law and how this is impacting the business and the operations, but also how we mitigate the risk and manage the tax in all the affairs with various implications to the business. What are the key controls and what is the responsibility of each member within the organization is really another thing that really will change how the business is currently operating.
NBF is a bank which is focused on its customers, and one of the most important issue, as we all know as we speak today, is on corporate tax, which is going to come into effect June next year. So bank, after taking into consideration the feedback from its customer, decided to host this as a part of the knowledge series event. As we can see from today's feedback from the customer, it went on quite well. A lot of important topics were touched based on it. People had much more questions to ask, and probably the takeaway from this is to host more of such events to help these customers, to help the NBF customers better understand and be prepared for this important thing which is happening. We know it will affect all the businesses, LLC, free zone, mainland, so they need to be ready. And NBF wants to play its part in helping the customer in increasing their knowledge in this regard.
A very old phrasal verb: when night getting darker, stars shine lighter, and that's exactly what I truly believe might happen here in UAE. It might have increasing demand of investors, of individuals and companies to raise their business, to raise their kids here in the country. Having stability within oil prices is actually just another proof that in 2023, when many people expect global recession, UAE might be a safe harbor for many people across the world.
I thought today's event was an excellent event. It was attended by many people. We had expert panelists and we were discussing a major corporation tax introduction into the UAE for the first time, building on the initial VAT introduction from before. I think we had expert panelists, and I think the moderator was excellent, and I think many people derived huge benefit from it. It's important that we support our customers in every way, not just in relation to the provision of financial services and products, but also to try and ensure that they are continuing to make good profits and succeed in their businesses. So also from NBF's point of view, as a relationship bank to our customers, we feel that this helps to enhance our relationships yet further and support our customers, which is our aim.